Fox News' Jessica Tarlov has had enough of her co-host playing the victim.
You deserve no attention on this. You deserve no credibility on this. It's actually comical because here's my feeling. It seems like you're ready for another one. You had Good, that went for a couple of weeks. You had this guy, went for a week or so. You're going to need a third one. This is what this is about, because this is what creates the motivation for this drama. This drama that could have been prevented if you guys just listened to the sensible people. Why is it that the cities that aren't sanctuary aren't having any violence?
That's the beginning.
Third term.
I love it.
I have a hat that says it.
You know, Jessica comes on the show and she gets so excited to spew all this garbage. And you can just tell how frantic she is just to get it all out.
Because you guys interrupt me nonstop.
Absolutely nothing. The country hates you guys. We don't trust you. You ran everything into the ground. We're pulling ourselves back. It'll take a little time. It's fine. We're going to handle things from now on, all right? We're going to handle the economy. We'll handle the border. We've already handled crime. You guys just sit back and whine about the problems you created. We're not even listening to you anymore. And I say that with respect.
Jesse?
I was walking Rookie today in my neighborhood, on my street.
On a leash?
Yeah, and this...
Is that your boyfriend?
This car comes throttling down, and he looks me right in the eye. He was already angry. And he sees me, and I give him a wave, because he was a neighbor, I thought. And all of a sudden, he passes me, screeches on the brakes, rolls down the window, and says, "F you, fascist!"
Whoa, really?
Really? Is that real?
In my neighborhood.
Oh my
For real?
gosh.
I swear to God, this happened this afternoon, and I'm thinking to myself, like, he doesn't know I'm a fascist?
Yes, he does. You're on TV.
Do I come across as a fascist?
I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim.
Oh.
She just might be.
Oh, no.
There was a rush to judgment.
No,
there was a lot
not.
of
There was
chaos
a jury
there
over
for a
years
while.
and a whole trial.
All right. Granted, she hung out
She
with Jeffrey
more
Epstein.
than hung out with him.
And I know
She
that's
committed crimes with
apparently
him.
not good. But
Yes,
she's
she
in
is, 'cause
jail.
she was convicted.
For how
Yeah.
long now? 20 years. A 20-year sentence.
Yeah, handed down by a judge. Number one, there's always more to the story. Number two, they really are just birds of a feather. This is what they mean when they say they want to protect the victims. Now they're spinning Ghislaine, one of the more monstrous perpetrators that we know of, into a victim. Okay. Interesting marching orders you got there, Greg. Though, of course, entirely unsurprising given all the concern being shown by the right for all the victims of what they're calling not credible accusations. It's almost like they're priming that. What would possess someone to call a criminal of that nature a victim? Oh, I know. Hey, Greg, this you? This you, Greg Kelly, former Fox News host, current Newsmax host, son of a police commissioner who was investigated for SA in Manhattan? See, I know that you know the difference between convicted and not, because sure, you were not convicted. And I'm sure Police Commissioner Daddy had nothing to do with it.
I'm sorry, Piers, but to get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. Who gives a damn that we have 40 million Spanish speakers in the United States? We have 310 million who don't speak a lick of Spanish. This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos, not for one small group, but for the country. We don't need a black national anthem. We don't need a Spanish-speaking, non-English performer, and we don't need an ICE or America hater featured as our primetime entertainment.
Okay, what is the national language, officially the national language of the United States of America?
I mean, English. And there's been a push for many years to make it an official
you don't have one.
Documented thing.
You don't have one.
If you would have let me finish my comment, I would have pointed that out, that people have been pushing to make it official.
Okay,
right,
so you're trying to make official.
This attitude that you have right here is why you in Great Britain have lost your culture. You ceded your culture to a bunch of radical Muslims who came in and took over, and now it's gone. We're not allowing that here. Whether it's Hispanic, whether it's Muslim, it's not happening in the United States of America. That's why President Trump was elected. And whether it's Bad Bunny, who is American but refuses to speak English in his performances, or anybody else, we have to keep the Super Bowl, which is a quintessential American event. Football, that kind of football, is ours. They call it American football. And the halftime show and everything around it needs to stay quintessentially American. Not Spanish, not Muslim, not anything other than good old-fashioned American apple pie. There should be a meatloaf, maybe some fried chicken, and an English-speaking performer. That's what the Super Bowl should be.
Look, I think the reason that Donald Trump did this, that he engaged in this whole process where, to your exact point, we didn't see an apology for hours and hours and hours and hours, is because he is a small, petty, fragile man who cannot take responsibility for his own actions. And the second reason, frankly, is because he is a racist. And we have seen Donald Trump engage in racist activity in the past, numerous times. We watched as Donald Trump took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the execution of 5 black kids for murdering someone who they did not murder. We saw Donald Trump start his political career by denying the citizenship of the first black president. And right now, we're watching a secret police force rove around the country so that they can round up brown and black people for the crime of being brown and black in this country. And to claim then that Donald Trump is somehow not racist is just to deny what we can all see with our own eyes.
Well, first of all, it's not a secret police group. The immigration and customs enforcement officers are here to enforce the immigration laws.
Do they show their faces?
Of the United States.
Are they wearing insignia? Do they give their names? Do they have badges?
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it.
Now, while it's true that there are plenty of legitimate economic concerns on the right wing, the reality is that the MAGA movement is basically just white grievance personified. It's just white people complaining that their place in the world is slipping away from them. A place that white people historically stole, mind you. And I'm not going to sugarcoat any of this, okay? Because I really don't care. All right, the whole thing, Bad Bunny being in the Super Bowl, literally the most popular, famous, successful music artist on the planet, and they're saying, oh, that was un-American. Okay, well, then why did the Super Bowl halftime show break records? Why is he as popular and as famous as he is versus Kid Rock, you know, lip singing and nobody tuning in, this old drunk has-been who ain't got nothing to say but I'm mad at the liberals, because the right wing movement is just sticking it to the liberals over and over and over again endlessly. Donald Trump committed treason on national television and 70 plus million Americans said, big deal, nothing to see here. We literally have a child rapist as president. Not going to sugarcoat that either, because that's what he is. Yet the days keep ticking by and no punishments and no prices are being paid, right? Now all of a sudden you got people like Joe Rogan and all the people in his ilk and his sphere talking about how, well, you know, assaulting little girls really isn't that big of a deal. I mean, come on, come on. And Donald Trump's whole personality is whining and griping and complaining. He's the most powerful man on earth, and yet most of his attention is diverted towards who's talking about him in the media so that he can sue you. You know, he's suing the BBC for billions of dollars, suing New York Times, suing CBS, suing ABC, suing everybody who has the nerve to tell the truth about him because he's a loser. Meanwhile, again, the whole MAGA movement is just, I'm white and I don't like anything that isn't white. It makes me uncomfortable when I go to Taco Bell and I hear Mexican people speaking Spanish. Like, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole thing. Meanwhile, the economy is completely crumbling. Our relationships with foreign countries are completely destroyed. Right? Donald Trump is the warmongering president, even though he was supposed to no new wars, the anti-war president. This whole saga, this whole era of Donald Trump has been nothing but white people whining and griping and complaining about the fact that they're losers. You know, ain't nothing gonna be handed to you. Y'all always complaining and whining about DEI, but you want DEI. You want to have a high social status for the sake that you white.